Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are cracking open the Master Vault on a skill that dictates the absolute ceiling of your success, your income, and your impact in this world. Think about it. You can have the most brilliant revolutionary ideas in the world, you can be the most talented engineer, or you can have a vision that could change your entire industry. But if you freeze up the moment all eyes land on you, if your voice trembles during a high-stakes meeting, or if you constantly find yourself blending into the background because you lack the raw authority to command a room, your brilliance will remain completely invisible. We are diving deep into a massive, immersive story breakdown of the psychological and behavioral frameworks required to build unbreakable, lifelong vocal presence, drawing directly from the elite communication methodologies used by top corporate executives, public speakers, and stage performers. Most people think that stage presence and speaking confidence are things you are simply born with. They look at charismatic leaders and assume they possess a magical social gene. But the science of human biology and cognitive psychology reveals a completely different reality. Confidence is a physical, trainable muscle. It is an internal software script that you can consciously code into your nervous system. Get incredibly comfortable, grab your favorite journal, eliminate all distractions, and let us discover how to destroy public speaking anxiety forever and step into a voice that commands absolute respect. Part 1. The primordial origin of stage anxiety. Let us start our story by looking at a profound biological puzzle. Imagine you are standing backstage, waiting to walk out in front of a large audience of coworkers, clients, or industry peers. Your heart starts pounding like a bass drum. Your palms sweat, your mouth goes completely dry, your stomach knots up, and your brain suddenly screams at you to turn around and run out of the building. Why does a simple room full of humans sitting in comfortable chairs trigger the exact same physical panic response as coming face-to-face with a hungry predator in the wild? To find the answer, our story must travel back tens of thousands of years to the era of our early ancestral tribes. Back on the prehistoric savanna, the absolute greatest threat to a human being's survival wasn't a saber-toothed tiger, it was tribal rejection. If the group cast you out, you were forced to survive completely alone, which meant certain death. Now think about what happened when an ancient human faced a group of 50 people standing in a semicircle, staring at them with intense, unblinking focus. In the wild, that specific visual cue only meant one thing. You were about to be judged, attacked, or banished by the tribe. When you stand on a modern stage or at the front of a boardroom, your primitive amygdala doesn't see a friendly business audience. It looks out at those 50 pairs of eyes and instantly flashes a red alert warning. Danger. We are surrounded by predators. Understanding that public speaking fear is an ancient, hardwired biological survival mechanism changes everything. It means that there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You are not a coward, and you are not broken. Your body is simply trying to keep you alive. True confidence doesn't mean eliminating this shot of adrenaline. It means learning how to master the biological chemistry of your body so you can use that raw energy as fuel to power your performance. Part 2. Turning the chemical thermostat of fear into power. Now that we know where the fear comes from, how do we hack our biological system to turn that panic into supreme poise? The secret lives within a profound physiological phenomenon known as arousal reappraisal. Harvard University researchers conducted fascinating studies on public speaking anxiety. They took a large group of individuals and told them they had to deliver a high-stakes presentation on a complex topic with zero preparation time. Before walking onto the stage, the researchers split the speakers into different groups and gave them specific mental instructions. They told the first group to try to calm themselves down by repeating the words, "I am calm, I am relaxed." They told the second group to lean directly into the adrenaline rush and repeat the words, "I am excited, I am full of energy." The results were completely mind-blowing. The speakers who tried to force themselves to be calm performed terribly. Their voices cracked, they forgot their lines, and their anxiety remained sky-high. But the speakers who labeled their physiological state as excitement spoke with incredible passion, authority, and confidence. Why did this happen? It turns out that from a pure biological standpoint, the physical symptoms of intense fear and intense excitement are exactly identical. In both states, your heart rate spikes, your breathing quickens, and your body floods with cortisol and adrenaline. Your brain doesn't actually know the difference between terror and thrill. It relies on your conscious mind to interpret the data. When you tell yourself, "I am terrified," your brain enters survival mode and freezes your creative thinking. But when you relabel that exact same physical energy by telling yourself, "My heart is pounding because I am incredibly excited to share this valuable message," you flip a switch in your prefrontal cortex. You transform a negative panic response into a high-performance flow state, allowing your natural charisma to pour out effortlessly. Part 3. The 3 pillars of vocal architecture. Once you have balanced your internal chemistry, you must optimize the physical instrument that carries your message, your voice. True speaking authority is built upon 3 core physical pillars that dictate how people interpret your competence and status. The pillar of diaphragmatic resonance. Most people speak entirely from their throat or their upper chest. When your body experiences a slight wave of stress, your chest muscles naturally tighten, causing your voice to rise in pitch, sound reedy, and carry an anxious vibration. To command absolute authority, you must shift your breath down into your diaphragm, which sits at the base of your ribcage. Imagine your body is a classical acoustic guitar. The throat is just the strings, but your lower abdomen is the hollow wooden body that creates the rich, deep, booming resonance. When you breathe deeply into your belly and allow the air to push up from your core, your voice naturally drops to its authentic, optimal lower register. A deep, grounded voice subconsciously signals to your audience that you are emotionally stable, physically powerful, and completely in control of the space around you. The pillar of strategic silence and the death of fillers. The ultimate marker of an insecure speaker is a frantic rush to fill every single microsecond of audio space with sound. When an untrained speaker experiences an awkward silence or pauses to gather their thoughts, their anxiety spikes, and they instinctively vomit out filler words like, like so, or you know. These filler words act like tiny drops of acid that slowly eat away at your credibility throughout a presentation. They signal to your listeners that you are terrified of losing their attention and that you are desperately begging for permission to keep talking. An elite communicator handles silence with supreme confidence. They understand that a pause is a weapon of immense power. When you finish a major point, you do not rush to the next sentence. You stop talking. You let the silence sit in the room for 2 or 3 whole seconds. This pause allows your audience to digest the weight of your message, while simultaneously showing them that you possess the absolute confidence to hold the room without uttering a single sound. Silence doesn't weaken your presence, it magnifies it. The pillar of articulation and the power of the consonant. The final physical pillar is the clean, crisp execution of your spoken words. When people are nervous, they naturally accelerate their speech, causing their words to blur, mumble, and run together. This fast pacing forces the audience to strain their ears just to understand the basic text, killing your impact. To fix this, you must slow down your delivery and focus intently on hitting your consonant sounds, particularly the hard letters at the ends of your words like T, P, K, and D. Instead of letting a phrase like, "We want to hit our target this month," slide out as a blurred mumble, you enunciate every single boundary of the sentence. When you crisp up your consonants, you give your speech a rhythmic, percussive quality that demands attention. It makes your arguments sound structured, clinical, and deliberate. You stop sounding like someone who is desperately throwing words at a wall, and you start sounding like a true commander delivering absolute truth. Part 4. The architecture of the visual frame. Our story now shifts from how you sound to how you look. Long before an audience processes your linguistic arguments, their visual cortex evaluates your body language to determine your social rank. Lowndes and elite behavioral analysts agree that open, expansive body language is the quickest path to projecting high status. Most speakers naturally adopt defensive, low-status postures when they feel vulnerable. They cross their arms over their chest, clasp their hands together in front of their waist in a fig leaf position, or constantly shift their weight from one foot to the other. These movements tell the audience that the speaker is trying to shield their vital organs from an impending attack. To project absolute, unshakable confidence, you must master the open visual frame. Stand with your feet exactly shoulder-width apart, rooted firmly into the ground as if your legs are made of solid concrete. Keep your hands at your sides, completely relaxed, until you are ready to use an intentional gesture. When you gesture, ensure your movements are expansive and symmetrical. Bring your hands up above your waist and use open palm movements to illustrate your points. Never point your finger aggressively at the audience, as that triggers a defensive psychological response. Instead, use an open, upward-facing palm to invite them into your concepts. By taking up your physical space boldly, you trick your own brain into releasing more testosterone and lowering your cortisol levels, instantly making you feel as confident as you look. Part 5. Destroying the script and the trap of perfection. Let us look at a massive trap that causes thousands of bright professionals to experience catastrophic public speaking failures. This is the trap of writing a word-for-word presentation script and trying to memorize it completely. Imagine a manager who spends 2 weeks typing out a beautiful 10-page speech for an upcoming company event. He reads it 100 times in his bedroom until he can recite every single paragraph perfectly. Then, he walks onto the real stage. He delivers the first 3 pages beautifully, but suddenly, a cell phone rings in the audience, or he forgets a single word in the middle of a sentence. His brain hits a concrete wall. Because his confidence was tied to a rigid, linear sequence of exact words, forgetting one link causes the entire chain to shatter. He panics. His eyes go blank. He stutters, and his presentation collapses. The book introduces a revolutionary alternative: bullet point conceptualization. Stop writing full scripts. Instead, break your presentation down into a simple, logical sequence of 3 to 4 core concepts, and assign a single keyword or a vivid story to each block. When you speak, you are not reciting text. You are simply having an authentic, structured conversation with the audience about those concepts. If you forget an exact phrase, it doesn't matter, because you still know the core idea inside your soul. This approach frees you from the prison of perfection, allowing you to react dynamically to the energy of the room, crack a joke, or handle an interruption while maintaining your unshakable poise. Part 6. The magic of the audience advocate mindset. Why do we experience such immense pressure when we speak in public? It is because we naturally view the presentation through a deeply selfish lens. We focus entirely on ourselves, asking internal questions like, what if I mess up? What if they think I am stupid? What if they don't like my slides? What if I look nervous? This hyper-focus on your own ego creates a massive wave of internal pressure. You treat the audience as a hostile judge who is sitting there waiting to find flaws in your character. To shatter this pressure instantly, you must execute a total psychological paradigm shift. You must adopt the audience advocate mindset. Realize that the people sitting in those chairs did not buy a ticket or attend the meeting to watch you fail. They are giving up their most valuable asset, their time, because they are hoping you will give them a solution to their problems. They want you to inspire them, teach them something new, or give them a tool to make their lives better. They are actively rooting for you to succeed. When you walk onto a stage, stop trying to get something from the audience, such as approval, applause, or validation. Instead, focus entirely on giving them value. Look out at the faces in the room and think, I am here to serve you today. I am here to solve your problems and lift you up. When your focus shifts from self-protection to radical generosity, your social anxiety completely evaporates. You stop performing and you start connecting. Part 7. Mastering the high-stakes Q&A session. The true test of an unshakable speaker doesn't happen during the prepared presentation. It happens during the unpredictable chaos of the live question and answer session. This is where weak leaders expose their insecurities, and master communicators solidify their absolute dominance. When an audience member asks a highly critical, aggressive, or complex question, the natural human response is to jump in instantly with a fast, defensive answer to protect your pride. This fast reaction makes you look rattled, weak, and defensive. To handle a high-stakes question like a master operator, implement the 4-step decompression technique. First, when the question ends, pause deliberately for 2 full seconds. Do not blink, do not panic, just look at the person with absolute composure. Second, repeat the essence of their question back to the room using neutral, non-confrontational language. If they ask, why did your team completely fail to deliver the project on time? You reframe it by saying, the question is regarding our recent timeline adjustments and how we plan to optimize our future execution. Third, align before you answer. Validate their perspective by saying, I completely understand why timeline efficiency is a top priority for our stakeholders. Fourth, Deliver your answer using clear, data-driven facts without a single ounce of emotional defensiveness. By structuring your response this way, you show the entire room that you cannot be shaken by criticism, transforming a hostile attack into a beautiful showcase of your leadership competence. Part 8. The Roadmap to Unshakable Lifetime Presence. As our profound journey through the psychology of public confidence reaches its final destination, remember this ultimate truth. Confidence is not an elite luxury reserved for a chosen few. It is the natural birthright of anyone who is willing to take absolute responsibility for their presence. Stop letting the ancient savannah programming of your amygdala keep you locked in a cage of social hesitation. Stop hiding your voice in the back of the conference room, and stop settling for an invisible existence. Step into your authentic power today. Lean into the adrenaline rush and declare your excitement. Drop your breath into your diaphragm, crisp up your consonants, hold your physical space with pride, and ditch the script to speak from a place of conceptual clarity. When you possess the courage to lift your chin, look the world in the eyes, and speak your truth with absolute clarity, generosity, and poise, you unlock the ultimate golden key to human influence. The walls of professional resistance will dissolve before you. You will command premium authority in your career, attract elite opportunities into your reality, inspire those around you to achieve greatness, and discover that your voice has become a magnificent instrument of lasting global impact. What is the #1 physical or mental technique from this communication masterclass? Whether it is utilizing the arousal reappraisal strategy or implementing strategic pauses that you are going to practice during your very next team meeting or presentation. Let me know your vocal breakthroughs in the comments down below. If this deep dive summary shattered your fears and handed you a bulletproof architectural blueprint for unshakable public confidence, show some immense love by clicking that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss another profound communication, confidence, or leadership book breakdown. And share this video with a colleague who needs a boost of confidence to step up to the podium today. Own your biology, trust your silence, speak with absolute power, and I will see you in the next video. To help